Hello, ladies and gents, and welcome to Scoobtober on IEB. That's right, that's what we're calling it. I don't know, whatever. We're diving into each and every Scooby-Doo original film. Now that they'll probably not make any more, sadly, of course. But anyway, this is just me giving my unscripted thoughts about the first Scooby-Doo films, my first Scooby-Doo viewings and all that I've seen from these films. And lo and behold, we come to the first ever Scooby-Doo film, Scooby-Doo Meets the Boo Brothers. Now, for all those who don't know about Hanna-Barbera history and all that, which I assume most of you don't, apparently Hanna-Barbera decided to make 10 TV movies based on their cartoons. And it was called the Hanna-Barbera Superstar 10. And yes, Jetsons Meet the Flintstones was that one of those films. And apparently Rockin' with Judy Jetson was another one of those films. And 3 of those 10 films was occupied by Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Yes, and this was the first one, Scooby-Doo Meets the Boo Brothers, and I gotta say, this is one of the most boring pieces of crap I have ever seen in my life. It took me literally 3 times to get through this entire film from beginning to end, and each time I fell asleep. I finally was able to get through it, but I had to do something in the background, I had to have it play in the background because it was that unadulterated boring. Now, I don't know a whole lot about Scooby-Doo's, lore and all that, or where Scooby-Doo was at this particular point. All I know is that it was the Scrappy-Doo era, because Scrappy was part of it. Scrappy's part of this in this film and all that. And it's just him and Scooby and Shaggy, and that's it. Apparently, Shaggy's got an uncle who died in, the South for some reason, and he owns a plantation house now, which is an interesting choice. There's also this sheriff that really, gives them trouble, and he's constantly picking on them and all that, which again is another very interesting choice. Oh, and by the way, there's no black people in this movie, which is another fantastic choice. I know it was a different time and all that. It was the late 80s? But at the same time, it was the late 80s. You gotta catch up, Hanna-Barbera. What the heck? Kindly get it together. But anyway. Oh yeah, but they also have the hillbillies. They have hillbillies here, which is not South anything anymore. It's Virginia and Kentucky, I guess, but I don't really. It's in Louisiana. I'm fairly certain, hillbillies are not in Louisiana because there's no mountains in Louisiana. Now, look, I get it, right? This setting, for the most part at least, it's got some good spooky, je ne sais quoi, if you will, right? There's the plantation house, Louisiana is known for the voodoo and all that stuff, the witch doctors there and all that type of thing. There's, I'm not saying that they would do it, proper, but there is some, source that they could use to make a spooky setting. And honestly, it is so hard to do. So, okay, what are the good things about this film? Well, surprisingly enough, there are a few. Will it take long? No. So let's just dive into it. The plot. Okay, before I begin, let's talk about the plot, okay? That's not going to take that long either. So let's just dive into it. So Shaggy inherits a plantation house from his uncle who died, and I don't know, everyone's trying to get this treasure and all that. There's hijinks ensue. There's this mystery. Oh, mystery, mystery. There you go. Of where this treasure is, and they're trying to find all these clues and all that. We'll get to that later. Anyway, and then they find the treasure, and then there's ghosts. But eventually they do unmask said ghosts. Except for the Boo Brothers. The Boo Brothers are real. They are real ghosts. They do their own ghostly things. We're not gonna say anything otherwise. They are basically the worse versions of... okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. That's it for the plot. Now let's go on with the good. Again, this won't take long. So, Shaggy, Scooby... I actually do like these characters. They're doing their own thing. Whatever. It's good to see them again. Scrappy-Doo, surprising enough, I thought he was going to be annoying. He's really not annoying. I don't know where these people are getting at. Scrappy-Doo, he's actually the most sensible one. He's the smartest one, which, again... we'll talk about. And surprisingly enough, when they do show it, the atmosphere of, around town and all that, like in the creepy outside and all that, it's actually pretty, it's actually a little kind of nice, it's a little creepy. It gives a little vibe, it gives some good vibes. Good vibes for that. The characters, 3 trio characters are good. The atmosphere when they show it is good. Yep, that's it. That's all is good. Everything else is terrible. Everything else is trash. Let's talk about the Boo Brothers first. Oh my gosh. These 3 idiots are so painfully unfunny. I almost fast forward through all their sketches because it was just so bad. Because they were trying to do a Three Stooges type of thing when the Three Stooges, I don't even know if they were necessarily relevant since, I don't know, 1960 at the latest. And this was 87 or 86 when this film came out or something like that, or it's around there. But yeah, it was that bad. Like, why are you doing the Three Stooges this, 20 years after they were even, doing material, Oh, and also, I forgot to mention this. There's actual ghosts. There's actual ghosts in Scooby-Doo now? What? I'm a Scooby-Doo noob, okay? But even I know, they take the masks off. They're not real, except for Zombie Island and, I guess, Witch's Ghost and those movies and all that. Those things are real. But before Zombie Island, these ghosts should not be real. What? Why? What? Huh? Is this the first known actual ghost that is real or what? What were they smoking? What the heck is going on here? At first I thought Shaggy and Scooby would just, scream whenever they were on, but they showed up and Shaggy, I guess, freaked out a little bit and then started doing their skits, and all of a sudden they were like, oh, okay, these guys are idiots. What? This is not how Shaggy and Scooby would do that. Scooby-Doo would scream to the top of his lungs whenever he saw the ghosts. Okay, I've seen other movies in the Scooby-Doo lore where that's happened. This is not part of Scooby-Doo's character arc. What the heck is going on here? It's just like that meme. What the hell is going on here? Okay, and I think this is where most of the hate for Scooby-Doo comes from, or Scrappy-Doo. So most of the hate where Scrappy-Doo comes in to. It's the fact that he's the most competent one of the entire trio here. Like, why is the young puppy the most competent, the smartest, and the most fearless one? Maybe one of them. Maybe it could be the most fearless one. Okay, you know, it's reversal on expectations and all that. It's been done throughout cinema history. You can do that, but why is he the most competent one, and why is he the smartest one? That doesn't make sense, and it's makes his character boring. It's not. He's not bad. It's just some points we know Scrappy's going to come in and basically Wally-oop save everything and all that. Shaggy and Scooby are basically cannon fodder compared to everything. And I'm like, what the heck, you know? The animation, I get the reason why they're in this house, I guess, for the most part. It's because, you know, it's cheaper. You know, you can't go out and do this kind of stuff, you know? You can't go out all the time. You gotta be in the background on loop so we can see the characters walking in loops and basically them giving out just terrible jokes. What the heck? This is the 80s. What the heck are we doing? And the worst part about it is that they're constantly throwing out these jokes. Like, literally every bit of dialogue is a joke that does not land. And if it was even the slightest bit funny, I would forgive it. It ain't funny, though. It wasn't funny in 1960. It definitely wasn't funny in 1987. Definitely ain't funny now. Overall, though, I think the cardinal sin of this whole film is the fact that the Boo Brothers even exist, and they're actual ghosts, and they are not some weird people in, you know, masks or whatever. There is a mask. Of course, the evil ghosts, they aren't real. Good ghosts, though, those are real. It's still creepy. 2.5 out of 10. It's just awful, man. I mean, no, actually, it's a 3 out of 10. What am I doing? I'm doing off a Letterboxd, you know. So I'm trying to do that. Anyway, 3.3 out of 10 for this film. I get it, you know. I get the limitations that they had. But at the same time, it's so painfully unfunny. I would not recommend this movie. Stay away at all costs. You know, if you like Fred, I don't know, you're in love with Velma or Daphne or whatever, you forget that. Okay, forget it, because they're not here. It's just Shaggy, Scooby, and Scrappy. That's the only characters that are in this movie that transfer over to other forms of media. But anyway, though, guys, what do you think of this movie? Have you seen it? Does it rock? Does it suck? I absolutely hate it. I highly recommend you don't, but whatever, you do you. What's your favorite Scooby-Doo movie? Mine's not this. Comment, let me know. Don't forget to subscribe, ring that bell. More vids come your way, and hey, take care, guys.